I spent 7 summers chasing the wrong goal, trying to have it all, planning epic vacations while maintaining peak productivity, saying yes to every invitation while still grinding on side projects, attempting to squeeze a year's worth of living into 3 months. The result? Exhaustion, disappointment, and September arrivals where I felt neither rested nor accomplished. But I was wrong in my approach, because summer isn't about maximizing every moment. It's about aligning your energy with what actually matters. And if you don't shift your mindset now, you'll waste another precious summer caught between burnout and regret, wondering why you feel depleted instead of renewed. So what creates a truly exceptional summer? It's not trying to do everything. It's not complete abandonment of goals either. It's strategic intention. Most people see summer as either pure vacation time or just warmer working months. But it's neither. It's actually your greatest opportunity for meaningful reinvention and momentum building. If you approach these months with the "I'll just wing it" mentality, you'll drift through days that blend together, punctuated by occasional fun, but lacking the purposeful experiences that create lasting fulfillment. You'll reach September feeling like you somehow missed the season entirely. But if you approach summer with strategic intention, deliberately choosing what deserves your energy and what doesn't, you create something different entirely. A summer that energizes rather than depletes. That builds momentum rather than stalls it. That leaves you feeling both accomplished and renewed, because exceptional summers aren't accidental, they're architected. I'm going to share my 3-part summer momentum framework in just a moment, but first we need to understand why the conventional approach to summer planning actually sets you up for burnout and disappointment. Let me tell you, the framework I discovered transformed my summers from a cycle of overcommitment and exhaustion to a balanced rhythm of growth, connection, and genuine rest. And it all begins with understanding what we're really seeking from these sun-soaked months. Think about your most memorable summers. Were they memorable because you did everything, or because you were fully present for specific meaningful experiences? For most of us, it's the latter. Those moments of full engagement that stand out, not the blur of constant activity. This distinction is critical because it challenges the prevalent summer mindset that more is better. Our culture reinforces the idea that a successful summer means cramming in maximum experiences, achievements, and social events. Social media amplifies this pressure, showing carefully curated highlights that make it seem like everyone else is having the perfect, activity-filled summer. But research on happiness and fulfillment consistently shows that depth of engagement creates more lasting satisfaction than breadth of experiences. One study found that people who fully immersed themselves in fewer activities reported significantly higher summer satisfaction than those who participated in more activities with divided attention. The implications are clear. Quality of engagement trumps quantity of experiences every time. This isn't just philosophical, it's neurological. Our brains aren't designed to process constant novelty and context switching. We derive deepest satisfaction from states of flow and full presence. I'd love to know what intention you're setting right now. Complete this sentence in the comments. This summer, I'm becoming the kind of person who, sharing it might just solidify your commitment and inspire someone else's summer transformation. So, the biggest summer mistake people make, believing they need to maximize every moment, waiting for the perfect weather day before starting, saying yes to every social invitation out of FOMO, treating summer like a sprint rather than a season with its own natural rhythm. But here's what most people miss. The relentless pursuit of summer maximization is exactly what prevents you from experiencing its true richness. The truth is, trying to do it all guarantees you'll experience nothing deeply, because while you're frantically checking experiences off your summer bucket list, you're missing the genuine rejuvenation and momentum building that only comes from strategic intentionality. My friend, I've watched this pattern play out countless times. Friends who plan elaborate summer itineraries but return more exhausted than when they left. People who abandon all structure, then feel aimless and anxious by July. Ambitious goal setters who burn out by pushing too hard when their bodies are already managing additional heat stress. In every case, the outcome is identical. September arrives with a vague sense of disappointment and the feeling that another summer has somehow slipped away. The paradox is that by trying to get everything from your summer, you end up experiencing very little of what truly matters. This phenomenon has a name in psychology, the paradox of choice. When faced with too many options and commitments, we experience decision fatigue and diminished satisfaction with whatever we choose. Summer naturally expands our sense of possibility, longer days, warmer weather, and cultural permission to enjoy ourselves more, which makes us particularly vulnerable to overcommitment. The physiological dimension of summer burnout is often overlooked too. Heat puts additional stress on our bodies, increasing fatigue. Disrupted sleep patterns from longer days and summer activities create subtle but cumulative energy deficits. And the pressure to have a perfect summer body adds another layer of stress right when we should be focusing on enjoyment. These combined psychological and physical pressures create the perfect conditions for a phenomenon I call September regret syndrome, that distinct feeling of having somehow missed summer even though you were busy throughout it. What patterns have you noticed in your past summers that either enhanced or detracted from the season? Have you found certain approaches that helped you feel both accomplished and refreshed by the end? Feel free to share your story in the comments below. I'm really curious about your experience with summer burnout or disappointment. Let me tell you, treating your best summer ever requires a framework that balances intention with flexibility, productivity with presence, and personal growth with genuine rest. Here's the three-part approach that transformed my summers. First, implement seasonal batching. Rather than treating summer like any other time of year, recognize its unique energy and leverage it strategically. This means grouping your activities and goals into alignment with summer's natural rhythms. For example, move outdoor projects to mornings, evenings, and deep focus work to midday when heat makes outdoor activity uncomfortable. Schedule creative work for those naturally longer days when your energy can flow into evening hours. Save administrative tasks for hotter afternoons when many people experience the post-lunch focus dip anyway. This isn't about rigid scheduling, it's about working with summer's natural flow rather than fighting against it. The science behind this approach is compelling. Our circadian rhythms actually shift during summer months due to increased daylight. Most people experience slightly later natural bedtimes and a shift in their peak performance windows. By aligning your activities with these seasonal biological shifts, instead of fighting against them, you reduce the effort required to stay productive and present. Second, apply the 40-30-30 allocation. This simple ratio prevents both burnout and drift by dividing your summer intentionally. 40% for productivity and momentum, but aligned with summer's rhythm. 30% for genuine rest and rejuvenation, not just checking social media. 30% for connection and experiences, quality over quantity. This balanced allocation ensures you neither abandon your growth nor burn yourself out pursuing it. Let me break this down practically. In a typical week, this might look like 3 days with primary focus on productive momentum, though still including rest and connection elements. 2 days prioritizing genuine rejuvenation. 2 days centered around meaningful connections and experiences. Within each day, you're not rigidly compartmentalizing these elements, but rather setting a primary focus while still maintaining balance. The proportions may shift based on your specific life circumstances and goals, but the principle of intentional allocation remains essential. I'm going to show you exactly how to implement this framework into your weekly schedule in just a moment. But first, we need to understand the critical third element that most people completely overlook when planning their summer. My friend, the third component is establishing renewal rituals, consistent practices that replenish rather than deplete you. These aren't just self-care activities, they're deliberate practices that counterbalance summer's tendency toward scattered energy. Examples include morning walks before the heat peaks, weekly digital sunsets where technology gets put away at sunset, or Sunday evening planning sessions with an iced drink on the porch to set intentions for the week ahead. What makes these different from typical summer activities is their consistent, ritualistic nature. They provide the grounding structure that prevents summer's expansive energy from becoming chaotic. The psychological power of these rituals lies in their predictability. In a season that pulls us toward novelty and spontaneity, these consistent practices create a sense of grounding and continuity. They become anchors that prevent summer's expansive energy from becoming scattered and directionless. Neurologically, rituals reduce the cognitive load of decision-making. When certain beneficial practices become automatic, we no longer have to expend mental energy deciding whether to do them. This frees up cognitive resources for greater presence and creativity in other areas of our summer. These three elements work together to create a summer that builds momentum without leading to burnout. So what's it going to be? Will you drift through another summer of either overcommitment or underutilization? Continue the cycle of September regret, wondering where the time went and why you don't feel renewed? Because if you don't approach this summer with strategic intention, nothing will change. You'll continue experiencing the same frustration year after year, feeling like summer should be amazing, but somehow never quite delivers on its promise. And 3 months from now, you'll either be the person who created a summer of balanced momentum, feeling simultaneously accomplished and refreshed, or the person who's wondering why another summer has left you feeling vaguely disappointed. I faced this exact choice after years of summer burnout. The turning point came when I realized that my maximize everything approach was actually minimizing my enjoyment and growth. The pressure to have a perfect summer was preventing me from having a genuinely good one. This realization didn't make planning my summer easier, but it made it more honest. And what happened next transformed my relationship with the season entirely. I started experiencing deeper satisfaction with fewer activities. I built more momentum with less struggle. I finished summer feeling genuinely renewed rather than depleted. This transformed summer experience is available to you right now, not next year, not when circumstances are perfect, today. If you're thinking, this makes sense conceptually, but how do I actually implement it in my real life? Start here. First, conduct a summer energy audit. For 1 week, track your energy levels throughout each day, noting when you naturally feel more focused, creative, social, or in need of rest. Summer creates unique patterns for most people: higher energy in the longer evening hours, afternoon slumps during peak heat, etc. Use this data to design your ideal summer day template, aligning activities with your natural energy. Most people discover they've been fighting their summer rhythm rather than leveraging it. For example, you might find that your creative energy peaks in the evening during summer months due to extended daylight, unlike winter, when you might feel mentally sharpest in the morning. Or you might notice that physical activities feel more sustainable before 10 a.m. and after 6 p.m., with a natural rest period during peak afternoon heat. Second, create a summer priority filter with just 3 categories. Hell yes, activities and commitments that align with your summer intentions. Strategic no, things that might seem appealing but don't serve your summer vision. Seasonal delay, worthy pursuits, better suited for fall or winter. Before saying yes to any summer commitment or project, run it through this filter. This prevents the overcommitment that leads to burnout while ensuring you focus on what truly matters. The power of this filter is that it acknowledges not all no's are created equal. Some activities aren't right for you at all, strategic no, while others are simply better suited for different seasons, seasonal delay. This nuanced approach to curation prevents the guilt often associated with saying no during a season culturally associated with saying yes. Third, implement the 1-3-5 rule for summer planning. 1 major summer project, something meaningful you'll complete by September. 3 key relationships to deepen. 5 experiences to prioritize quality over quantity. This focused approach prevents the scattered energy that makes most summers feel simultaneously busy and unproductive. What makes this rule particularly effective is its comprehensive nature, covering achievement, project, connection, relationships, and enjoyment experiences, while maintaining strict numerical limitations that force meaningful prioritization. For your 1 major project, choose something that leverages summer's unique energy, perhaps something creative, something requiring sustained but flexible attention, or something that benefits from longer daylight hours. The key is selecting a project that's significant enough to create a sense of accomplishment, but contained enough to complete within the summer time frame. Finally, schedule weekly summer reset sessions, 30 minutes every Sunday to assess your energy, adjust your plan, and recommit to your summer intentions. This prevents the drift that occurs when we lose connection with our initial vision. The key insight here is that summer requires more frequent recalibration than other seasons because its expansive energy naturally pulls us toward distraction and overcommitment. Here's the counterintuitive truth that transformed my approach to summer. The season's greatest power isn't in what you add to your life, but in what you strategically remove. This creates what I call the summer subtraction effect. By doing fewer things with greater presence, you experience exponentially more fulfillment and momentum than trying to do everything with divided attention. Why does this work? Because summer's abundant energy often leads to overcommitment. We say yes to too many things, believing we can handle more because the days are longer and our mood is higher. This natural expansion needs the counterbalance of intentional limitation. When you deliberately subtract the non-essential from your summer, the social obligations that drain rather than fill you, the projects that could wait until fall, the should-do activities that aren't aligned with your authentic desires, you create space for deeper engagement with what truly matters. I've seen this transformation repeatedly, both in my own life and in others who've adopted this approach. The moment they stopped trying to maximize every summer moment and started being strategic about their energy allocation, their experience of the season fundamentally changed. They built greater momentum with less effort. They felt more refreshed with less traditionally defined rest. They created memories with more meaning and less frenzy. Because contrary to popular belief, your best summer isn't found in doing more, it's found in doing less, but doing it with complete presence and alignment. This approach doesn't just create a better summer, it establishes a foundation for sustained momentum well into fall. Unlike the typical post-summer slump that comes from burnout, strategic intention creates an energy reserve that propels you forward. The psychological principle at work here is what researchers call attention restoration theory. Our mental resources are finite and become depleted with constant stimulation and context switching. By reducing inputs and focusing more deeply on fewer things, we allow our attentional resources to replenish, rather than constantly depleting them. This is especially important during summer, when environmental factors already place additional demands on our cognitive and physical resources. The heat, longer days, and cultural expectations all create subtle but significant drains on our energy. By intentionally subtracting non-essential demands, we create the space needed for true rejuvenation. My friend, your summer journey is just beginning, and the person you're becoming is already emerging. And if you found this video helpful, the next video takes this summer transformation even deeper. Your summer, your energy, your choice.